Okay, all right. No opening music today because we're gonna start this stream with a launch, with a crewed launch, and end it with a crew EVA. Today's gonna be a long stream. Long stream. Yeah, this is gonna be a lot. All right. Anyway, we're gonna jump right into Soyuz MS-26 coverage here. I hope everybody's having a good day. Here we go. We have 2 cosmonauts and an astronaut launching today on Soyuz. This is Soyuz MS-26.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
We got 3 crew aboard. Like I said, there's Alexei Ovchinin, who's the commander, Ivan Wagner on the right, mission specialist, and then NASA astronaut Don Pettit. Don Pettit. I can't believe he's flying into space again. That's cool, man. If you guys don't know who Don Pettit is, he is like the cool, crazy scientist. Like, he's got a real Doc Brown vibe going to him, if that makes any sense. Which is pretty awesome. Yeah, he's got a real Doc Brown thing going, and I don't hate it. But this footage was actually recorded a little bit earlier. Today, they're actually in the Soyuz right now, and they are scheduled to launch in about 20 minutes. When did they start streaming these launches? The Russians have always streamed these launches since 2000, man.
7:42 a.m. Central Time.
It was on NASA TV, but you get the idea.
in Baikonur for the ride to the launch site 31, and that trip took
they always
almost
stream crew
1 hour
launches,
to
dude.
complete at the desolate launch site.
So they're currently in Baikonur City in Kazakhstan,
go at throttle up.
and they will now head north with the bus. They will head north to the Soyuz pad. Zvezdaya?
After arriving at the launch pad, the crew...
I don't know if you guys... I'm pretty sure that means stars. Yeah, because the bus is painted in stars.
To board their spacecraft, the Soyuz MS-26 spacecraft, which they have now been aboard for about the past 2 hours.
We're doing the space news today, Phil. Hey, God, 57 months. Bus to the stars? Maybe. I have to actually fill my water tanks up at the garage up with water here. But, yeah. I'm running no coffee right now, just for the launch, because I didn't want to be late. Dudes, on a quick side note, I went to bed last night, probably like 1, 2 in the morning, because my sleep schedule is screwed up, and I didn't set any alarms, and I woke up a half hour ago. That's not good. There they are stepping up the rotating surface structure here. That's Ivan Wagner out in front, Don Pettit in the center, and Alexei Ovchinin down low. He'll step up here in a second.
Losha. Good luck.
For sure. I don't. No, they're not flying out of Vostochny. No, they're flying out of. This is Baikonur.
After waving goodbye to some well-wishers, they then entered the elevator for their ride to the top of the Soyuz rocket.
That's the
where they
Soyuz
then
flight suit,
boarded
guys.
their spacecraft, the Soyuz MS-26 spacecraft, which they have now been aboard for about 2 hours.
There's a live shot.
And there you now see a live view of the Soyuz 2.1A booster with the Soyuz MS-26 spacecraft atop. And we are about 13 minutes away from today's launch. Today's launch will send NASA astronaut Don Pettit and his Roscosmos crewmates Alexei Ovchinin and Ivan Wagner into a short 2-orbit journey to reach the International Space Station.
Soyuz does not work with
Docking
Dragon.
today is scheduled for 2:33 p.m. Central.
Yeah, Eddie, this is all
3:30
pre-recorded.
p.m.
Hey,
Eastern.
Ismic, what's going on, buddy? Yep, 3-hour ride. Okay. Hey, Panther.
Atop the Soyuz 2.1A booster and strapped into their seats in the descent module of the Soyuz are NASA astronaut Don Pettit and Roscosmos cosmonauts Alexei Ovchinin and Ivan Wagner.
Discovery,
As
go at
mentioned
throttle up.
earlier,
Level.
Ovchinin, as Soyuz commander, is in the center seat of the Soyuz MS-26 with Pettit to his right and Wagner to his left. We are now just under 12 minutes away from launch, about 11 minutes and 40 seconds. In the final moments of the launch countdown, we will see several milestones beginning at about T-minus 7 minutes when pre-launch operations will be complete. And at this point in the countdown, the Soyuz booster will be ready for launch. About a minute later, at T-minus 6 minutes, the physical launch key will be inserted into the launch bunker to transition the launch sequence into automatic mode. Followed about 30 seconds later, the launch control will report that the range in Baikonur is clear and that the Soyuz is ready to begin its journey. About 30 seconds after that, at T-minus 5 minutes, the onboard systems will be switched to onboard control, and the commander's cockpit displays and controls will be activated, and the crew will go ahead and close their helmets.
They have internal images,
At
Leo. They're just
T-minus
not
4
showing them
minutes,
right
the
now.
fuel lines and other elements of the rocket engines will be purged with nitrogen to fireproof them. And then about a minute later, the booster's fuel tanks will be pressurized for flight. And then once we are at T-minus 1.5 minutes, the ground propellant feed will be terminated to the Soyuz booster. 30 seconds after that, the Soyuz will be switched to internal power, and we will be in the final minute of the launch countdown. At T-minus 35 seconds, the first umbilical tower will be separated from the booster, and we will then have auto sequence start.
Copy 5-minute launch readiness. Copy 5-minute launch readiness.
Ready, Burlock 1, monitored it. We checked
Copy
it.
all.
It's ready. Copy.
Inside of 10 minutes here for the MS-26
A few
launch.
seconds after that auto sequence start, the ground umbilical to the third stage will be disconnected.
5-minute readiness. Close your pressurized helmets.
Visors
And
closed.
about 15 seconds after that, the second umbilical tower will separate, which will initiate engine sequence start. And then at T-minus 12 seconds, the launch command will be issued, and we will be in the final seconds of the launch countdown before seeing liftoff at 11:23 a.m. Central Time, 12:23 p.m. Eastern Time.
Oh, no, actually, that sucks. 9 minutes.
We see you on video camera 2, Burlock 1, Burlock 3. 16-3, this is Burlock 1. I have my pressurized helmet closed, copy, and PSS is ready. Yes.
Hey, Flavio. Buongiorno. Come stai?
We are now just under 8.5 minutes away from today's launch of the Soyuz 2.1A booster with the Soyuz MS-26 spacecraft atop, carrying NASA astronaut Don Pettit and his Roscosmos crewmates Alexei Ovchinin and Ivan Wagner to the International Space Station. And there on your screen, you are seeing an inside view of the Soyuz MS-26 crew. Again, that is NASA astronaut Don Pettit and Roscosmos cosmonauts Alexei Ovchinin and Ivan Wagner. We are about 7 minutes and 40
Guys, the reason why you're getting a mixed crew here, why you have Americans and Russians flying, and why you have Russians flying on commercial crew vehicles as well, is because we're kind of conjoined at the hip with the ISS. It's just, you got to understand that. You don't want to have all Russians up at the station all at the same time, or all Americans up at the station at the same time. The ISS is conjoined at the hip because the Russians have the power and they have the propulsion modules, and we have the power modules with the truss segments, right? The stations it's one station that's made with the parts from two different station designs. And this is about astronaut and cosmonaut safety here. You really, 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 really do want to make sure that each mission control has a native speaker. There's two primary mission controls. There's the ROS and the USOS. So United States operational segment and the Russian operational segment. You want to make sure that there are native speakers. So they've been mixing crews for 24 years on purpose, because that's the best way to keep the station nice and safe.
Spacecraft reporting that
And Don has the thing longer.
And we are at just under 6.5 minutes away from
now. What
today's
happens
launch.
after the ISS?
Again,
Don't
we
know.
had that
Probably
confirmed
nothing.
about 30
But
seconds ago at T-7.
In order to keep the space station running, you have to have Russians up there. And Alexei and Ivan are good people. They're cool, man. Alexei launched on MS-12 with Nick Hague, the one that had the in-flight abort. Yeah, dude, he's seen some stuff, man. And Ivan Wagner was up there helping. He helped DM2. He helped the DM2 mission. He was there. He was there when Bob and Doug came up on Dragon.
Of the orbit of the space station, which is inclined at 51.6 degrees to either side of the equator. And we just heard confirmation that the launch key has been inserted at the launch bunker. It is a real key, a physical key, that transitions the launch sequence into automatic mode.
Tutto bene, tu. Bene. Molto bene.
In just a few seconds,
Grazie.
Launch Control should report that the range at Baikonur is clear and that the Soyuz rocket will be ready to begin its journey.
They use they use a key for tradition. It's a traditional thing. They don't need to use the key. They use it because it's kind of cool. You just turn the key like GoldenEye style. It's pretty rad. Two operational satellites, sir. Petya and Misha, both in 90 minutes Earth orbit at 100 kilobits.
In just a few seconds, the onboard systems will be switched to onboard control, and the commander's cockpit displays and controls will be activated. And then the crew members will begin to close their helmets, which puts them on suit oxygen.
Where's the key? It's in Launch Control Navik in Baikonur.
And we just heard confirmation
Launch
that
controls
the
over there.
fuel lines and other elements of the rocket engines are being purged with nitrogen to fireproof them by removing vapors of fuel and oxidizer.
Yep.
And you are now seeing a live look of the Soyuz 2.1A booster with the Soyuz MS-26.
So you want to know how simple this thing is? You want to know how they ignite this? They stick a match up the rocket engine and let the fumes siphon. They siphon start the turbo pumps, basically, which is a little bit of an antiquated thing, but old tricks are the best tricks, I guess. It's actually kind of cool. They stick a match up the engine, whatever. Just throw a match on it; it'll be fine.
Fuel and helps to add structural support to the rocket.
Yeah, the detonation
about 3 minutes and 45
makes a vacuum, and that starts the turbo pump. It's a little old school, but
as planned, with
and
no
by old
issues
school I
being
mean
reported
the
from
design is from the
blockhouse in
60s.
Baikonur.
But hey, whatever. They're gonna be up there in 3 hours, alien. Oh yeah. Dude, I'm telling you, a Soyuz expansion for workers and resources would be fantastic. Because we'd be doing this. This is all we'd be doing. Launch another one. Launch another one. Good. Guess what? Launch another one.
Today's launch.
Or face the wall. Face the flame trench, please.
Where the booster's fuel tanks will be pressurized for a flight, completely pressurized, and this helps to optimize the flow of fuel, and again add some of that structural support to the rocket. After that, at about T-minus.
You have oxidizer and fuel drain and safety valves of launch vehicle closed.
Fuel and drain valves are closed.
Copy. Oh, everything is fine on board. The crew members are feeling well. Copy.
And you just heard some words there between the crew in Soyuz, confirming that all 3 crew members are feeling well and prepared for
I'm
today's
wondering if
launch.
we have the
And we are
Roscosmos
just
cast.
over 2.5 minutes from today's launch of the Soyuz MS-26 spacecraft carrying NASA astronaut Don Pettit and his Roscosmos crewmates Olivia Cheenan and
Yes, we
Ivan
do.
Wagner.
Booster propellant tank pressurization initiated.
I like listening to the comm loops.
Есть на дух общий 70-й. Есть брошевая система измерения 70-й. Доклады руководителя работ принял. Первый.
Inside of 2 minutes. They're just on the short band, dude. Short band, homie. That's what it is. 90 seconds. So once again, 30 seconds, you'll see the umbilical start to detach. And T-minus 0 on the clock indicates engine start. They don't start before and then lift off at 0. T0 is engine start, and then it'll take a couple seconds for the engines to spool up and then go. T-minus 60 seconds. What's the point of the grid fins? The grid fins are there in case of a launch escape panic. They'll deploy and act as a stabilizer fin to get the Soyuz away from the rest of the stack. They're kind of folded up. They'll flip out in the event that the... Oh, no. Abort.
Есть переход блока 3 ступени
Right.
на бортовое питание. Есть отрыв самого блока 3 ступени.
Maybe I didn't hear that
Есть
right.
отрыв холодной пневмоколонок блока И-70. Есть наполнитель. Есть замок. Есть МАС-120. Есть МАС-130. Доклады принял. Первый. Пуск.
Maybe I heard wrong.
Пуск. Зажигание.
Yeah, okay, I heard it wrong. We're good.
Предварительное.
Okay. Crappy Roscosmos sound effects.
Промежуточное. Ломаное. Подъем.
Okay, we got a good lift. All right, we're good. We're good.
Двигатели контролирования гибковых блоков ракетоносителя вышли на режим главной ступени тяги. Параметры системы управления ракетоносителем.
Okay, liftoff MS-26.
Двигатели первой и второй
Weird sound
ступени
effects.
работают нормально.
Some words translate the same, guys. That's all.
Параметры конструкции ракеты-носителя в норме.
Carrier rocket is normal.
40. Стабилизация изделия устойчивая.
Or I could just...
50.
the screen.
Давление в камерах двигателей в норме. 60.
Hey, I'm back.
Тангаж, рысканье, вращение в норме.
Guess not. That was weird.
70. Полет нормальный.
Nominal guidance. Just listen to those
Параметры
little,
системы управления ракеты-носителя в норме.
Carrier rocket's normal.
90. Двигатели первой и второй ступени работают нормально.
Guidance is normal.
100. Параметры конструкции ракеты-носителя в норме.
All parameters and constructs of the carrier rocket are normal.
10. Тангаж, рысканье, вращение в норме.
First stage separation.
120.
Or lift cross.
Есть сброс деусад. Есть выключение двигателей боковых блоков. Есть отделение боковых блоков.
Okay.
130. Стабилизация изделия устойчивая.
We got a good first stage separation there.
140.
Параметры конструкции ракеты-носителя в норме.
It's like a nice smooth ride there.
150.
Двигатель второй ступени работает нормально.
160.
Bearing separation.
Есть сброс створок головного обтекателя.
170.
Стабилизация изделия устойчивая.
Stabilizers are good. That's a shot.
180.
Параметры конструкции ракеты-носителя в норме.
The rumble is piped in. Guys, yeah, I don't know why I'm
190.
that, but whatever.
Полет нормальный.
Got, autopilot is nominal.
200.
Двигатель второй ступени работает нормально.
210.
Система управления ракеты-носителя в норме.
Yeah, your rocket is good.
220.
Полет нормальный. Время КП 21 час, 23 минут, 12 секунд, 436 секунд.
230.
3 minutes 45 into the flight, everything's
Стабилизация
looking good.
изделия устойчивая.
This is the mission.
240.
Двигатель второй ступени работает нормально.
This is the mission control loop, guys. Or flight control.
250.
Тангаж, рысканье, вращение в норме.
260.
Параметры конструкции ракеты-носителя в норме.
All parameters on the carrier rocket are still good.
270.
Параметры системы управления ракеты-носителя в норме.
All systems on the rocket are good.
280.
Прошел гарантийный надув бака окислителя третьей ступени.
Staging.
290.
Есть
Staging is
запуск
good.
двигателя третьей ступени. Есть выключение двигателя второй ступени. Есть
Hotel
отделение
separation.
второй ступени.
300.
Есть
Everything
сброс
looks good.
панели хвостового отсека.
That's right, Mick, yeah. This is the third stage.
310.
Стабилизация изделия устойчивая.
Stabilizers are good.
320.
Параметры конструкции ракеты-носителя в норме.
Everything's still good.
330.
Двигатель третьей ступени работает нормально.
340.
Параметры системы управления в норме.
I don't know why they're using the engine sound from KSP, but they are. They're piping in engine noises.
350.
I don't understand
Полет
that.
нормальный.
Guidance is good.
360.
Тангаж, рысканье, вращение в норме.
370.
Параметры конструкции ракеты-носителя в норме.
380.
Двигатель третьей ступени работает нормально.
I got what these two loops are doing is just they're going back and forth.
190.
Параметры системы управления ракеты-носителя в норме.
Carrier rocket's normal. He's just going through all the systems. Guidance is good, rates are good.
Стабилизация
Stuff like that.
изделия устойчивая.
410.
Полет нормальный.
Guidance is good. Pilot normal.
420.
Тангаж, рысканье, вращение в норме.
I don't know what Temgas means. I've
430.
never heard that word.
Двигатель третьей ступени работает нормально.
We got 3 people on board, dumbass.
440.
2 cosmonauts and a NASA astronaut.
Стабилизация изделия устойчивая.
450.
Полет нормальный.
Guidance is normal.
460.
Параметры конструкции ракеты-носителя в норме.
All systems on the launch vehicle. Carrier rocket look good.
470.
Двигатель
This is
третьей
space. I'm in
ступени
space.
работает нормально.
Hokie gifted us up to Michael on tap. Hello.
480.
Параметры системы управления в норме.
490.
Стабилизация изделия устойчивая.
Plates are good.
500.
Полет нормальный.
Guidance is good. Should be coming up on engine flame out here in a second.
510.
Тангаж, рысканье, вращение в норме.
520.
Параметры системы управления в норме.
530.
Есть выключение
Space
двигателя
separation.
третьей ступени. Есть отделение транспортного пилотируемого корабля «Союз» МС-26 номер 757. Транспортный пилотируемый корабль «Союз» МС-26 выведен на орбиту искусственного спутника Земли. Репортаж о запуске транспортного пилотируемого корабля «Союз» МС-26 номер 757 окончен.
Soyuz MS-26 is now on orbit, and it'll do a 3-hour. It's now a satellite. It'll do a 3-hour rendezvous with the ISS. All right, you guys are on camera.
Уважаемые друзья, это был репортаж о запуске транспортного пилотируемого корабля «Союз МС-26» с ракетой-носителем «Союз-2-1А». Экипаж Алексей Овчин, Иван Вагнер и астронавт НАСА Дональд Петтин.
Donald Piettet.
Как мы можем судить, судя по кадрам этой трансляции, все прошло штатно, Денис Владимирович, действительно.
Nice.
Да, все верно.
Donald Piettet.
Примерно по
That's
набору
Dennis
импульса
Mateve. He's a
была выделена
cosmonaut.
главная команда на отключение маршевого двигателя, и произошел контакт отделения, то есть отделение транспортного пилотируемого корабля от ракеты-носителя.
Do you think the time
Опытный
Crew
экипаж
Dragon will get
сегодня
closer to 3-hour
отправляется к
rendezvous
МКС. И
time?
у Ивана Вагнера и
It's
Алексея
possible,
Овчина
yeah.
уже были опыты космических полетов. Так
Да.
что ни для кого это не стало неожиданным.
Guys, the reason why Soyuz has a 3-hour rendezvous is because Soyuz is a very, very, very matured spacecraft. It doesn't. Soyuz is freaking AK a spacecraft. It doesn't break. It really, it's very rare that you have problems with that thing. They can afford to do such a crazy transfer window because the spacecraft design is so well matured. And that's, and let's be real, they aren't just saying like, oh yeah, we could do a 3-hour rendezvous. It's fine. And NASA going, you sure about that? No, NASA engineers have overlooked this too. Everybody gets to basically overlook everybody else's stuff to get to the space station. Now, I know what the next question is going to be. Does that mean that the Russians have looked over Starliner and Dragon? No, that's commercial. It's a little bit different. But there has been enough information given to launch cosmonauts on Dragon. Cosmonauts have launched on Dragon. And they will launch on Starliner whenever that decides to, you know, do its thing. It's the Hilux of rockets. It really is, Panther. It's very simple. It's a very simple design. Do cosmonauts typically have a similar background like NASA astronauts? Yes. Yeah. Uh-huh. Great to see Don heading back to the ISS yet again. Yeah, his 4th space flight. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. All right. Wait, what the heck's going on here?
Что мы присутствуем.
Вы понимаете, что это нас так вдохновляет? Да чего уж там нас? Мне кажется, это вдохновляет миллионы людей, как у Владимира Семеновича Высоцкого, когда звездолет становится звездой, и ты присутствуешь в этом моменте, что эмоции зашкаливают. Я даже вот сейчас подбираю слова, потому что выразить не могу. Это какое-то невероятное счастье. Но мы, как опытные зрители, уже поскольку мы приезжаем сюда не первый год, нас научили, что радоваться надо сдержанно, и только на 9-й минуте, когда корабль выходит на орбиту, уже можно друг друга поздравлять, но все равно мы ждем стыковку.
Точно, точно. Виктор, ну расскажите, как вчера ваша новая программа была, кажется, правильно? Вы впервые ее поставили, как впечатление?
Pretty cool. Pretty cool. We got 19 people on orbit now, guys. 19. We got Crew 8 at the ISS. Soyuz MS-25 at the ISS. CFT-1 crew at the ISS. We have Polaris Dawn and now MS-26, which is... That's pretty cool, man. That's a lot of people. Is that an all-time high? 19 might... That might be... Yeah, that might be the most. Oh yeah, there's three taikonauts up at the Chinese space station too. Yeah, that's a lot of people. Pretty good, man. Pretty good. Yeah, let's see. Let's check back in with the NASA cast here.
Outside of Moscow, and you're seeing a live view of that mission control from the balcony.
So we're back over to the NASA cast. This is Star City, Korolev, Russia. It's just outside of Moscow. That's what the NASA PAO was just saying. Up here, this is the Roscosmos ISS. These are all the modules that they have stringed together in orbit, and that's all the stuff that's all the crew stuff that's just on orbit right now. So you have Zarya, Zvezda, Poisk, Raskvet, Nauka, Prichal, Soyuz MS-25, Progress MS-27, Progress MS-28, and Soyuz MS-26 now. Note that Soyuz MS-26 is not joined with the ISS modules because it's not there yet. It will be. ISS is currently just flying over Japan right now, and Soyuz is catching up to it pretty quickly. 3-hour rendezvous. That's 2 orbits to the ISS, which is actually pretty rad. That's pretty cool. What is the plan for Soyuz flights after the ISS is retired? I have no idea. Didn't we hit 20 plus once for a few minutes if we counted a suborbital hop? I think so, yeah. All right, we'll pick up the docking coverage in... pick up the docking coverage in 2 hours. Why can they dock so much quicker than us? Soyuz is a much more mature spacecraft. It's well understood. That's why. Don't worry, Dragon, Starline, other spacecraft they'll get to it eventually. Yeah. Soyuz has been flown a lot. It's very well understood. They know exactly what it's going to do. Flight data is king, right? It's the same reason why Falcon 9 can do a return to flight so ridiculously fast. Because they know what happened. They can prove what happened empirically with data. Right? Soyuz is so ridiculously well understood that they can afford to do a 3-hour rendezvous. It's pretty sweet, actually. Pretty cool. Are there spacecraft? Programma Fagot. Yeah, and Meg, you were saying pilot. It's pilot. Piloting is good. That's what he's saying. Pilot normalny. He's saying guidance is good. Actually, I mean, he's saying it's nominal, actually, if you really want to know. Are you going to cover the Polaris EVA? Of course, clever girl. Yep. Yep, this stream's going all the way. all the way till that. I am going to cover it with NSF, guys. So, yeah. But don't worry, it'll be restreamed on Twitch, too. And I'll be jumping back and forth in the chats like I always do. Is there any rules on how fast you're able to dock? It's all based on your capability and how well understood that capability is, Flykin. Got to know what you're doing. Curious what camera angles they'll have for the spacewalk. Well, we know that there's one on the nose cone that looks at the hatch, so. Hey, EJ, I thought you were on there for a minute with all the books strapped to the wall. Huh? Yeah. Oh, yeah, Russian mission control pad. Nice. All right. Cool. Let's jump into Satisfactory for a little bit. We'll cover the docking and then go from there. Switches to YouTube gaming.